Okay, should be live. Um, Man, sorry for the late start. Anyone who's watching this currently. I just got very busy suddenly. But I'm back. I'm here, and I'm not queer, as one might say. So let's do this. Let me just share around. Anyone who's watching the VOD, you can just skip ahead a bit to get to the action, as it were. Also, if you hear any barking, that's my dogs. Just to say. Hold on. Cool. And sorted. Um, let's see. Hmm. Weird. Cool. Wonderful. Now I'll just wait for people to come in, and then we are groovy, as it were. Um, Fine. Cool. Cool. All messages. Okay. All messages. Okay. So for like anyone who's joining us now, we're just waiting for some other people to come, and then we'll start, I guess, doing something perhaps. Not sure what that something is, but it'll definitely be something. Okay, cool. Neat, 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 neat. And if no one shows up, then I'll just use them in real quick, and then I'll just end stream, as it were. Share, copy. Where's... Wait, fuck. That was me. And 5. So again, for anyone who's joining us, we're just waiting for people to come in, and then we'll do something, you know, I guess. But for anyone who's already here, hi, how are you? All messages. Cool. Okay. Now that that's set up. What to do, what to do. What to do, what to do. Hello, Zeralton, if that's your real name. Hope you're doing well. Someone did suggest, in one of the community posts I did, that, I could recreate my character in Veilguard. Issue, my computer is bad. Like, if I could, I don't think I'd be able to, do Veilguard's character creator within, that's not my real name, unfortunately. Sad. It's a cool name, though. It's a really cool name. Yeah, it does suck that, like, I won't be able to do that, because that does sound like a cool idea. Like, oh, you can download I can download the character creator and just, like, mess around a bit with it. Sadly, I cannot. Anyways, how have you been doing, Zeralton? Isn't there a way to live stream from Xbox? Yeah, there is. I have no idea how to do that. I have essentially been, what's the word? I have streamed to Twitch just to record some footage for Veilguard, right? So yeah. I have done that. It's just that, I don't know how to do that to connect it to YouTube, which I would like to do. You know, maybe my second playthrough I would do that more. I'm doing great. Finished twice out second time. What a game! Gosh darn it, dude! I haven't even finished the game yet, and you finished it a second time. Like, I'm being ran over here. Okay, bloody heck. But yeah, and also I guess I can talk about this now. So I'm nearly finished with the Veilguard. I think I'm nearly finished. I've finished basically all the companions quests. My friend on her third play. Oh my gosh, dude! On her third playthrough, do you guys even have lives, man? Because I'm nearly finished. I've finished all the main all the like companions quests. I've done Hardings, Nevs, Davrins, Emmerich's, Tosh, Lucanus's, and Balar. Yeah, I've done it all. Wow, I've done it all. She has a life and a job. I don't believe you, okay? How can someone finish Veilguard 3 times? And I don't believe you, okay? You must be lying, okay? That's the only logical conclusion here, okay? It's not like she can manage her time better, alright? No way, no way, no way. And yeah, and I gotta say, so I've done all the companions quests. One thing that I found very interesting was that Lucanus doesn't get like Hero of the Veilguard because, you know, he's hardened, right? Treviso was sacrificed and he just doesn't necessarily have that, which I find interesting, and I wonder like how that's gonna affect the end, you know? I hope it's not gonna be too bad, right? Because that would suck, right? Yeah, she just loves Dragon Age a lot. We used to joke about Dreadwolf never coming out. I mean, jokes on her. Okay, Dreadwolf isn't coming out. Okay, we have Velgard, right? But yeah, and I gotta say, I think one of my favorite companions, I think, is Emmerich, and one of the reasons why I think I absolutely sorry for spoilers, but Lucani actually does get Vilgard status a bit later. Does he? That's interesting then. Then maybe okay, that's fine. Though I do like the fact that he doesn't get Vilgard status immediately. Um, Post storyline. Okay, because like I do like that idea because I did read up that you were supposed to be able to allow Lucanus to like forgive Ilario or to like just send him to prison or kill him. Um, and that would obviously like change stuff. But I am glad that at least the Veilguard hero Veilguard status is postponed. You know, I like that though. Um, I absolutely love Emmerich though. Emmerich is such a good character. Like one of the things that I've absolutely like so much about him, especially at the end of it, is obviously when Manfred like dies, right? I'm like, oh my god, Manfred dies, dude. How could not only that, but Byro did it in the mission where he could finally talk. You know, it's like, oh yeah, now we're setting up, he can talk and do some shenanigans like that. No, he just dies. Like, okay, cool then. You know, I guess that's fine. What did you choose for Emmerich? So you might hate me for this. What I chose for Emmerich, right, was Emmerich being a lich, right? And one of the reasons why he chose that is because of how Emmerich phrases it. You know, Emmerich talks about becoming a lich, um, becoming a lich because he doesn't want to dishonor Manfred's sacrifice. Manfred disobeyed him directly. You know, which he's never done that before, right? He chose to sacrifice himself so that you know they could live and right. And so bringing him back to Emmerich feels like it's a bit of an insult, you know. And I can understand that, right? That's one of the things that I like so much about that choice is that it makes sense regardless of what you do, right? It also makes sense why Emmerich doesn't become a lich if he does save Manfred, because you know the whole point is you accepting death, right? If you can't accept death like that, then you're not going to be a lich, right? Which is cool because like, oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I just love it so much, you know. I absolutely love the scene where Emmerich like tells everyone, and Harding just like told everyone like, oh yeah, he's becoming a lich, you know. And then he gets so pissed off, right? He stabs the staff into the ground, and then he was like, "I am a lich. I am not a demon. I am not a possessed body. I am not some weird amalgamation. I am me, but more." I'm like, "Oh, okay, that's cool, man. That's cool." Like I don't like, oh my gosh, darn it, dude, it's so cool, you know. But yeah, so I think I'm nearly done with the game though. Oh, it's a legit very tough choice. I personally chose Manfred, but it does make sense to make him lich. So that's what's hard about it. Yeah, man, and that's one of the things that I absolutely love about Velgot so far. Is all the choices I've had to make these big ones. I've had to feel like I have to think about it for a bit and think what is best for the character and what is best for like um society, the people around them, stuff like that. Like for Balara's one, right? When you have to choose between Balara's like disregarding the knowledge because this knowledge could be used for harm, or accepting the knowledge and accepting all the good it has, but also all the evil it brings as well. Right? It's a legitimately like very hard choice to make because it's it's hard to understand which one would be better for them because it could make sense for both ways, you know. I also love the armors that each of the companions get, especially depending on the path they take. It's just such a cool detail, especially when, because I remember when Meryl got special armor of Romancer, like, oh man, like this is like progression, change, indicates growth, you know. It's great. But yeah, but yeah, now I just need to talk to Solus, and then after that, I think I'll basically need to be done with the game. I have like max rank with everyone, which is pretty good. What did you do for Davrin? Like, did you free the Griffins or did you take them and join them alongside the Wardens? Oh, and also, oh, I absolutely love Davrin's like quest where you go to, especially because it made me it caused me to remember that the Blight isn't an Evanurus thing, it isn't an elven god thing. It's its own separate thing, right? The blight isn't just something that they can control. They obviously are like the masters of it, right? Because they've used it and experimented with it the most. But hello Alicia, hope you're doing well. Now it's cool that you're late. I don't mind. If it is gonna be a short stream, it's gonna be a short stream. I let them be free. Really, Zero Thought. I mean, that does make sense. I especially love that Eldrin is there, and it makes so much sense. Like all this prior stuff for Davrin's quest, like gives so much more context to that scene, because like Eldred being there is a side of Davrin who wants nature to be nature in its way, both beautiful and ugly, right? And it's so cool. Joe, what was I saying? I don't remember. Oh yeah, especially because like the blight is supposed to be this neutral thing, not anything else. What are we doing today? No idea. I guess the only thing I figured some griffins can eventually join the wardens and some eventually get a fresh run. That does make sense, Zoltan. I do wish there would maybe was a third dialogue option where maybe you can have like let the griffins decide where they want to go, and some griffins stay in Arlathan and some griffins stay with the wardens. I think that would have been really cool. But yeah. Hello V. I hope you're doing well. Yeah, but I am going to choose the Griffins being free just to see what kind of effect that has on Act 3. I haven't gotten to Act 3 yet, but I'd like to see. But what we might be doing today, is necessarily going over some of the AMA questions, or answers as it were, because I wanted to like talk about it. I was originally going to make a video about it, but I think I still am going to do that. But man, I'm not the YouTuber with expediency, Ooh, talking about Davin and the Griffins. Yeah. And gosh darn it, dude, I was so sad because like the way that they framed it, obviously was like Asan's gonna like come back, but it's still suckish that they implied that Asan was gonna leave. I absolutely love that moment. It was so good, so good, so good. Oh yeah, and then oh gosh darn it, especially with the lore that we get about the Griffins, where Gillenane is sort of theorizing that the Griffins could be like a creation of someone else's, right? Which I like the implication, right? And that and also that she's a bit miffed that the Griffins basically are like, oh yeah, they just dislike the blight. Why do they dislike the blight? Who knows? Which I like that the mystery is still there for a bit, so we could like talk about it more later. It's really cool. A lot of these choices are so cool, to be honest. Laces or Emmerich. Yeah, the Cauldron was such a cool mission. Yeah, the Cauldron was really great, especially the way that going through the Cauldron and seeing all the old relics the Grey Wardens have, and also just like that, oh yeah, what happens to like an archdemon's carcass? Oh, it literally gets dragged all the way to Weishout and then put into a cage. Like the bones of all the old gods that were there are still there, which I find very interesting. You just wrapped up Davrin's story. That's great, Alicia. Did you like it? Did you not? I want to know. And it's so interesting because then it's like these old beings still exist. Like it's been centuries for a couple of these bones, and they haven't decayed like at all, right? Somewhat, but not at all. But while I wait for anyone wants to respond to that, I do just wanted to like go through some of these things. More specifically, I think the ones I saved, because I was gonna do a video. I think I'm still gonna do that. Where I'm basically going to like discuss some of the answers. And one of the ones that I do want to talk about, which I think is very interesting. Where it is. Where is it? I got the best ending for my first playthrough, and I'm sprinted through the game to get the worst ending in other playthroughs. I just finished this morning. You missed so much of playing as like a hater. Yeah, I love the idea that you're just like, okay, got the best ending ever, you know. Now time to get the worst ending ever, okay? You say fuck you to every single companion, okay? You do none of the quests, you just beeline it and it's just like, oh wow, everyone's dead, huh? Funny that. Funny that, hey? No, yeah, you definitely do miss a lot if you just hate Veilguard, right? There's a lot of this game that I hello, Alma. I hope you're doing well. There's a lot you do miss that I find very interesting, that a lot of people don't engage with it. Now, that is a criticism unto itself that you can have, which is the game requires you to play it as a completionist for you to get it. And that is a criticism I think that is valid, but I don't necessarily. But none of these people have made that criticism, right? Because I would still necessarily mean that you'd have to say, but Veilguard is also good. I loved it. It got me crying. I can't lie because they treated the Griffins by the ending with the Gloomhammer. Other kink. But the tragic stories, it had me feel uneasy. Oh yeah, man. Especially the way that our Rook could articulate it, you know, then like was sorry for how they've been treated, right? That they were forced to blight the Griffins, you know, and that now she in her own like twisted way is trying to prevent what will happen to the Griffins happening again, right? She doesn't want the Griffins to be blighted and to basically be caused to near extinction. Okay, she wants to ensure that they all survive, right? In her own twisted way, as the blight like just molded her, you know. And also one thing I absolutely love, just want to say, is that I do love that they reference, not like explicitly but implicitly, the Calling, Dragon Age, the book, The Calling. Because in that one, if a Grey Warden like survives like the Calling and just like accelerates it, they eventually just become like immune to all diseases and hunger and stuff like that, which is interesting. Mass Effect 2 required that, but you don't see it. Oh yeah, no, yeah. Like so many people will not say that to Mass Effect 2, even though Mass Effect 2 isn't like so much worse in this regard. Okay, or same, worse or the same as Veilguard, right? I'm a Mass Effect 2 hater, but I'm a cretin. Contrary. Cretin and contrary, you know. I mean, why do you dislike Mass Effect 2? Just out of curiosity. Let me see as just where is it? Yeah, I'm not sure. I think we already went through this on the previous stream. I think I don't want to like point out again for anyone who's like watching the VOD or whatever. Let me see if we can just open this up. I'll figure that out later. Mass Effect 2 is my favorite. I mean, I like Mass Effect 2 as well. I'm more of a Mass Effect 1 fan because I love the start of something, and the vibes for Mass Effect 1 is just like so good to me, you know. Like Mass Effect in my head, Mass Effect in my mind is just Mass Effect 1, you know. It wasn't the first one I played. Oh, the first one I saw. The first one. That's not it. The first one that the first Mass Effect then that I played was Mass Effect 2. But Mass Effect 1 is the one that I really liked a lot, you know. And I think there's a really good reason why. The first like thing you hear in Mass Effect 1 is like Vigil, right? The main title screen. Go in, you open it up, and then like after all the like the sound effects that happens. Hold on, is there gonna be an ad? Yeah, there's gonna be an ad. After this ad goes, you know, after you go through the title, everything, all the sequences, and then you just like hear this. And it just invokes so much, you know, so many emotions from like distant stars traveling towards them as they grow closer and closer, but also far away, but also as this echoing sound that get really contextualizes as empty space that was once filled by something, the Protheans, you know, and now that the Protheans are gone, they're dead, and only remains is an AI Faulty's facility dying. It's somber, but does have hopeful tones. And that's what I really like about Mass Effect, and what really makes Mass Effect 1 like Mass Effect to me, So much of the like jankiness that Mass Effect has does suck, but I do like it, I do miss the fact that we can't have the Mako the way it was, or the gunplay as it was, because all that is just in my mind associated with this, I don't dislike Mass Effect 2, I just think it's overrated. It has the two-color ending like Mass Effect 3, but no one hating it. Oh no, I get you in that as well, right? I do dislike that people so many times are like, Mass Effect 3 has three-colored endings. Like, sure man, same with Mass Effect 2. Was it different? Explain how it's different, yeah, and it lost the atmosphere, and it's, yeah. The combat was in a transitional period, I mean, eventually we'll hear Vigil on Hylos. Yeah, right, and then it recontextualizes everything, right? It's like, you have the title screen, which opens to you in this, like, sort of disquieting, like, almost uneasy galaxy. But then, as you just, like, hear it, it's like, maybe it's also a bit hopeful, because there are, like, hopeful tones in this. There are highs, there are lows, and then when you hear, Vigil, it recontextualizes. That was the Protheans, It's something that I just, like, sorely love about Mass Effect. As I said before, Veilguard was my first Fire game, and Mass Effect is my next one. I bought Legendary Edition. I hope you enjoy the Legendary Edition as well, I certainly enjoy it. I like Dragon Age a bit more because I'm always a fantasy kind of guy. But Mass Effect it really does hit different, There's something about it that just, like, yearns, it, like, calls to me. That I don't think, like, any other like, sci-fi has really done that for me. Which is why I guess, like, when I see Exodus, right, I don't feel that same kind of, like, feeling. I don't have that, this is Mass Effect, or this is, like, Exodus, Because to me, this is what, like, Mass Effect is, like, to its core essence. Enough of that, okay? Before it makes me, like, replay Mass Effect. And I need to finish Veilguard, okay? Oh, gosh darn it. Yeah, but overall, I just prefer Mass Effect 1 for Mass Effect 1, and for... Yeah. No, I agree with you, Zoltan, I agree with you. I think, like, Mass Effect 2, to me, like... How do I say? I like it a lot, and especially because, like, there's a lot of great moments, but it definitely doesn't have the same sort of, like, plot through line that Mass Effect 1 has, where you're uncovering something. I do have issues with Mass Effect 1. One of them is simply that, like, you're going to Pharos, right? Or, like, you have, like, Pharos, Noveria, and Liara's Dixide. And it's like, okay, cool. Which do you go first? Both important, all important missions that have a lot of urgency to do, right? Benezio was spotted Noveria. Pharos has lost contact from the Geth. And we haven't been able to contact, Liara. Cool. Let me not do any of that and go all around the galaxy, just avoiding those areas and actually just, like, doing whatever else, Which does, like, take the narrative urgency out of it. I will enjoy 3 games that are going to keep me busy. I mean, yeah, they're pretty good, But I won't, like, spoil anything else about you. Like, don't get disheartened by us, like, talking about some issues that we have with it. Because Mass Effect generally is, like, one of the best series. Like, there is, It has so much going for it, from lore to music to, like, even gameplay in some aspects, to characters. It definitely is, like, a game that I think you will enjoy a lot, In Mass Effect 2, I kind of missed the more open world Mass Effect 1. I wouldn't necessarily call it the open world, but I do agree with you that I do also miss that that idea of, like, planet exploration and going around just exploring things, right? Even if it's not a lot, even if it's very, like, light, I do miss that, I do miss that sort of, like, exploration. But yeah, so I don't know how to open this in like Google, this image. So I'm just gonna like read it out loud. This was a question someone asked, and I just want to like go over it because I feel like there's something like interesting about this one. This one generally asks like what features slash storylines were left on the cutting room floor for like Veilguard, right? And the answer was cutting up content makes cuts makes making cuts is tough, but the typical part of game development. A few biggest cuts we had were trimming down faction story arcs and letting go a few explorable places. There were also a few areas like the Blighted Waste, Blighted Wiseout that could have returned to explore. In both cases, I believe we rightly opted to let go of this quest in favor of increased focus on the quality of existing faction quests and exploration areas, and shipping out a high performing experience. Now, I think this like makes. Hello, Haiku Warrior. Hope you're doing well. I do think this makes a lot of sense. I can't obviously show it, but yeah. Because Veilguard, I do feel like does suffer from a lot of things were cut from the game's development. You know, which is obviously understandable. You can't have everything. You know, you can't have all the stuff in a video game because some things just have to go. And I feel like again, this is more emblematic of Veilguard's like development rather than like Bioware's competency. You know, um, and so to me at least, this like indicates that Bioware's like mind is on the right track. You know, like it indicates that they're going to do their best for the next game, whatever that may be. Well, Mass Effect obviously. I missed the exploration, but the tone gives um but the tones don't give much open for that. The Galaxy on the Verge of Doom and all that. Yeah, I mean that is one of the sort of weaknesses that Mass Effect has, compared to like Dragon Age. Mass Effect is you're following Commander Shepard from game to game to game. You know, it's fundamentally a story that's about Shepard as well, right? Not just the setting. Dragon Age is more about its setting, which allows it to have a lot more like freedom in how and like especially on how it depicts other things, right? Well, for Mass Effect, like obviously they try to like make sure they don't do this and veer away from it. But honestly, I do feel like um, honestly, they do kind of fall into the Planet of the Hats syndrome, which is basically all the races feel the same. You know, all Asari are basically the same, where they're kind of wise, aloof people who have a rebellious phase, but for the most part are pretty, you know, understandable and reasonable people, right? Like that's the sort of gist of it. Obviously not true in all cases, but that is what a lot of, you know, Mass Effect has done. And so I think when they went to Mass Effect Andromeda, it had a bit of an issue where any deviations from those Planet of the Hat races meant that people were like, why is there a Krogan who is very like not bloodthirsty? You know, there's a one Krogan in Andromeda who's just like very chill, but the fact that he was chill was such a huge, huge misconception, huge disconnect for a lot of fans. Man, why do Larian fans never compare their favorite Golden Child, Baldur's Gate 3, to ME Trilogy? Because ME is like the de facto Bioware RPG, or with that DA taking the route of ME in some aspects eventually too. I mean, yeah, Ryan. Like, the reason why I don't think a lot of Larian fans do that, Zerlton, is necessarily because most of them haven't played the prior games, and if they did, they don't talk about them. You know, Alma, you say like maybe the setting and fantasy, but I don't think it's just that. Because a lot of people will mention Witcher 3 in conversation of Bioware, like referring to Mass Effect. You know, I think it's more that most people who played Baldur's Gate 3 are new people, okay? Baldur's Gate, like by definition, there are more people who played Baldur's Gate 3 is their first Larian game than people who've played, you know, Divinity's Original Sin 2, you know? Like they just don't have perspective, right? And a lot of people's first RPG was Dragon Age Inquisition. Was same in that case, but that was 10 years later, same before. A lot of people's like first RPG in 2023 was Baldur's Gate 3, which does influence their perspective, you know. But what I do think is interesting as well is that I think a lot of those people who did play that RPG as their first one don't necessarily understand it, like to what kind of RPG it is, and mostly like got into it because they saw like pretty cinematics, you know. Oh, and just this is like a random like thing for me to say to you all. If you have any suggestions for what you want to do, me covering a video, and the video can literally be anything, okay? It doesn't have to be a react to someone who's negative or whatever. It could just be anything, right? I played the earlier Larian games, and it was a little rough. Yeah, it is a bit of fucking rough, you know? Like, Larian... What is it? Games. I remember I get confused with Divine Divinity and Beyond Divinity. Where is their Wikipedia page? Thank you. Cause educational games as well. Anyway, Lead Wars. Yeah, Divine Divinity. And this is Divine Divinity. Now, obviously, a lot of games were like this back in the day, where they had sort of a, you know, textured background. You know, it's like, okay, cool, that's fine. There's literally nothing wrong with this. But it does mean something, you know, that yeah, this is like Larian's first game. Generally, like Lead Wars was technically their first game, but this is like the game that they kind of wanted to make. It's like, okay, cool, you know, like sure.
You've got no business in.
And then as you progress, right, as you progress from like Beyond Divinity and to then more of a traditional RPG, Divine Divinity Ego Draconis, where it's like, okay, this is a lot more like what people expect of like an RPG, like relatively. And even then, this RPG is like very rough, you know. Let me see if I can find, yeah. The only like real thing that really gets a lot of people is the fact that you can become a dragon. And that happens later, you know. But even then, this game has, on its base launch, had a lot of issues, which is it had a terrible ending. It had no ending whatsoever. It basically ended with you just basically being like, oh yeah, so the ending is yeah, you failed, dumbass. You lost. You lost. You know, then they have their next one, which is a complete tonal whiplash, which is Divine. Which is a complete tonal whiplash, which is now like an RTS hybrid. It's wild, dude. The Larian only really came into their own with Divinity Original Sin 1. You know? Nice. So yeah, not a lot of people, like, again, Zoltan, not a lot of people have, like, played Larian games to really, like, understand it. They can't really understand where they don't know the legacy, okay? Knight, I'd like to see you cover The Witcher 3, things like that. I mean, I'd like to do that, you know? But I mean, at least more as in, like, content for this stream now. I definitely want to go over, like, Witcher 3 eventually. Because, like, I want to, like, just talk about it generally and, like, my thoughts for it, you know? Because one of the things that criticisms I'll make for The Witcher 3 is that its open world's kind of, like, odd. It's kind of in odds with its narrative. Its narrative obviously being find Yennefer, then find Ciri, right? But the game, like, I think reasonably you can say, like, okay, sort out the Griffin problem. But when you don't sort out the Griffin problem, it's just like, okay, cool, you just veer off and do whatever. That kind of sucks, you know? But then when you find Ciri, it's like, okay, you literally do whatever else. You don't know if Ciri's good or okay, you know? Larian seems cool, but their fan base is insufferable. Yep. Every fan is for people mixed it. I mean, yeah, right, but like, for majority of the online experience, they're just insufferable, you know? I remember I made a frankly quite antagonistic community post on Reddit where I basically just like kind of vented. Then like, man, I just dislike this game, you know? Because my perspective is Baldur's Gate 3 is like a Bioware RPG, and it just doesn't feel like a Bioware RPG to me, you know? It just really doesn't. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see if I can find it. Where is it? Where is it? Oh my gosh, where is it? Yeah. Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I mean, so this was me when I was basically like basically trying to say like, hey, I'm using this conversation as a. Hold on. I'm back now. Wait. Oh, no, thank you. So I'm just rambling at this point, you know? At this point, I'm just rambling. But it basically, like, uses as a weird, like, vessel, just basically say, like, I don't really like Baldur's Gate 3. Because I feel like the core reason why someone would play Baldur's Gate 3 is because it's an RPG where you can do whatever, you know? Where you have a lot of freedom in making new characters, you know? And a lot of people were like, no, it's about the story, it's about, you know, the characters and stuff like that, which I don't necessarily agree. I think it's only part of it, but I don't necessarily think that's the point of Baldur's Gate 3. You plan to have some content? I mean, no, certainly, you know. That content, though, will most likely be... basically just saying, I'm not a fan of the Elder Scrolls series. I'm more a fan of its lore, rather than, like, its anything else, you know. Because, like, I'm not a fan of the gameplay style, because I like a reason for why I'm playing a game. A lot of the Elder Scrolls games, like sure, Skyrim has the whole, like, Alduin World Eater, but it's also, like, trying to have the player do whatever, try anything, kind of thing. Still fumbling about Kingdom Comes Director. Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, man. Oh man, dude. I remember that, you know. That was such a fucking scummy ass thing to do, you know. Like, oh yeah, man. He basically just, like, used the Veilguard hate just to boost his own numbers. And it's what's even funnier, you know. What's even funnier is the fact that the guy said this. But at the same time, prior, their game went on sale, which obviously inflated the numbers of how many people actually were playing the game. You know, like, oh look, what's happening here, and then it shot up. Why? Because there was a sale going on. At the time period, there was a sale going on. So it's very, like, scummy of the guy to just basically, like, oh man, looks like the 7-year-old game is beating this new release game. It's like, oh yeah, you do realize that your game was also at that ballpark, you know? It's like very scummy, you know? And I don't think that makes, like, the game suddenly bad, but I do think it makes makes them less credible. The lore is crazy and super complicated. Yeah, right. But what's interesting, I think, and I might point that as well, is, if I do make it, is that Elder Scrolls lore was not crazy complicated at the beginning. It, like, got complicated as it went on, you know? It was very, like, simple, straightforward, like, D&D stuff. The only, like, real wacky stuff was dwarves were elves, actually. And they're atheists, you know? But other than that, you know, it got more complicated as the series progressed on, and only really came into form with, like, Morrowind, you know? And it's interesting, you know? I'd like to talk about that, because I think it's cool that series change in those kind of ways to sort of find its identity more and more and more. You can't really have that nowadays, because a lot of people will be, like, shouting Redcon, 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 you know, like nothing else. The two reasons to play Baldur's Gate 3, Astarion and Shadowheart. Yeah, hey. Fucking sucks that you can't, like, I remember when Larian was doing this whole, like, spiel of, yeah, you can have multiple romances. Astarion Halsin, Shadowheart Halsin. Okay, sure. Alright, When I think of multiple romances, okay, at least think of two, you know? Like two separate characters with other romances, you know? Lizelle is the goated. I haven't romanced Lizelle. Like, when I play Baldur's Gate 3 again, I will romance her. I think so far, the only Baldur's Gate 3 romance I like a lot, is maybe Shadowheart? I don't know. None of them really, like, compel me the same way as, like, Meryl does. Or, like, Bellara. I haven't romanced Bellara yet, but I definitely know I'll enjoy Bellara's romance. It got complicated as Kirkbride got hired. Yeah, man. Fucking Todd Howe. Like, there was this story, right? I hope this is true. Let me see if I can get it. Kirkbride. Todd Howe. Word story. There's a story with Kirkbride where, I'm sorry. One of the first things is like, is that true? Is it true that Michael Kirkbride took mushrooms and locked himself in a room? Like, maybe I don't know, man. Um, so Kirkbride, Kirkbride making stuff, stuff weirder, weirder to like this is a story where Michael Kirkbrider, right, would essentially. Oh yeah, tricking. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this is it. I think this is it. Let me see. It's not. I don't know how official it is. It is official in my heart. Okay, that's all that matters. Okay, it's official in my heart. And about Morrowind, about a dev on Morrowind tricking Todd Howard into approaching their designs by designing a much weirder creature first, and then their real design as a toned down version, normaler version, is real made up. I used to have this thing with Todd, because he was one of those like, let's not make it too weird. So I'd bamboozle him. There was a period where I would actually draw two different versions of monsters. The one that was weird and that I wanted to be in the game, and the one that was fucking crazy. And so I go to Todd and like, okay, I think I've got this mid-level creature set, and I'd show him a picture, and he'd be like, no, dude, that's crazy. Then I'd go to my office, and I would act like I was drawing something new, and I'd just come with the original drawing of what I wanted to be there. Like, hey, is this what you were thinking? And he'd be like, oh yeah, that's much better, thank you. That's great. I think this is like what Kirkbride does, you know. He basically makes like weirder things, and then Todd Howard would be like, nah man, nah man, nah man, nah man, that's too much. And then he would come back with the actual thing he wanted, and like, yeah, that's better. You know? It and sorry for being a bit cross, okay. Um Kirkbride would show Todd Howard like Vivek having like rough orgy sex, right? And he'd be like, no, 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 no. But then when he came back with just like rough sex, you know, just with one person, like, now that's reasonable, Kirkbride. Now that's reasonable. The Kirkbride is called his worst. I mean, yeah, yeah. A lot of people think that Kirkbride will basically like save the Elder Scrolls series. Like, nah, man. Like, I don't think. Like, here's the thing, right? Something that I think a lot of people forget is that Elder Scrolls was only as popular as it got into because it set the foundations to become a lot more mainstream. Morrowind is a cool game, but it's a cool game because it's so niche. You know, it's so focused on what it wants to do. For Elder Scrolls to be bigger, to be larger, it had to be a lot more broader, more mainstream. You know, and Oblivion and Skyrim were basically that. And so you couldn't have the Kirkbrideisms without necessarily making the Elder Scrolls a lot smaller. Now, these people will have to accept the fact that, yes, I have to accept that it will be smaller, and that is okay with me. You know, but these people won't do that, right? Because they somehow think that the Elder Scrolls would be as popular under someone like Kirkbride, then not. I bounced off Baldur's Gate 3 because Act 1 took 50 hours and it felt like all the choices I made in Act got wiped. Oh, same man. Same Wonder Nappers. Yeah. I agree with that as well, because like Act 1 is so, like each of the acts are isolated from each other in such a, which makes sense, because obviously because Larian can't really have a journey happen, because that kind of goes against a lot of their design philosophies, which is, hey, here, what is important is is you got somewhere, not how you got somewhere, right? The journey doesn't really matter, you know. And so Act 1 is isolated because if they had to like carry it over, that would create a lot more content for them to make, and also um it would it would make the player a lot more stringent and forced into either personality or more of a background, right? Which they don't want to do that. There's also some other reasons, but those I think are the big ones. Man, it's kind of annoying me how long Vel'God's Remnants take. Oh yeah, man. Like literally, Baldur's Gate 3 is literally you flirted with Lae'zel like once, and she's like, okay, let's have like rough anal sex. I'm like, oh whoa, whoa. I'm sorry, Lae'zel. Holy shit. I didn't think we were gonna go here, you know. And then for like for Dragon Age characters, especially Veilguard, it's like you're gonna have to take me out, you know, for dinner. We're gonna have to talk about our feelings. We're gonna have to, you know, see where this is gonna go with us, you know, and then we can have rough anal sex. Like, oh, okay, sure. Which I do like a lot more, because they do actually feel like more like characters. There are some people like Isabella who will just have like rough anal sex immediately, but that's not the norm, you know. Shadowheart and like Will aren't the same ones, but yeah, I don't know. It feels more like Baldur's Gate 3 companions are a lot more ready to romance you than not. Yeah. Alma. It was. Also, hello, Close Down Channel. Hope you're doing well. The amount of the Kirkbride story is crazy. It really is crazy, you know. I absolutely love Kirkbride for those kind of things, you know. Just the weirdness that he instilled in Bethesda. I don't really like Bethesda games. Hello, Combi Fighter. Wait, I think I already said hello. If not, then hey. Um, they're not my cup of tea. Yeah, they're not my cup of tea as well. I think there's a way I can enjoy Skyrim, but it has to be a lot more focused. This is one of the things that I think if I ever make the ankle will, I actually did. So time to show you some really old YouTube stuff that I did a long time ago. Join me as we go back to the past, the dreaded oldest tab. And there you go. I made a video basically calling like Elden Ring's open world is awesome. Now I do agree with this, but I mostly made this just so because the hype surrounding Elden Ring, and you might tell this is a PowerPoint presentation. Because I don't really know how to do editing. Still don't know how to do editing. But I basically talk about why Elden Ring's world was really good. Was simply because its story supports the open world exploration because you can basically like make a narrative reason for why you go out there, right? Especially because there's no like narrative restriction for why you should engage in it. Elden Ring's world is basically in a stagnant state. No, nothing's happening, nothing's changing. These gods have fallen long before you've ever gotten here. So like you gallivanting for a bit doesn't really make much of a difference. So then, what do? Oh well, you just go there and just explore and do whatever. But you also have like a mechanical incentive, which is leveling up. You know, Skyrim is disconnected from this. There's no real narrative reason to do it. There's a mechanical reason for it, but there's no narrative reason to do it, which kind of like creates this weird disconnect. I feel like Skyrim's role playing is awful. So yeah. Even like Morrowind's wasn't particularly great because you didn't really have a lot of dialogue options presented to you. It was a bit better because you had the freedom to like kill anyone, while Skyrim you don't. But I do agree that Skyrim's is very like minimal. There's only like few moments where I absolutely love like killing the Dark Brotherhood, which I love. I just wish that was extended out through a lot more quest lines. I feel like games published instead. Oh, you know what? I wanna show something as well. I want to show something as well. Because close end channel, you make such an interesting point that I want to like talk about. Where is it? I think it's for discussion. Because I was on the forums here, just like browsing, just seeing like what people were saying, and one of them was a blast from the past, which was a poll about can I go here now? A poll about like voice protagonists, and now this obviously isn't like indicative of everyone, but this is like very interesting because um where is it? Um Larian. Oh gosh darn it, dude. I'm trying to find it now. Oh, what does everyone say there? Okay, I'm gonna try now. Here it is. Here it is. Because close end channel, you reminded me of something, which is there's a poll done on the Larian forums, right, by one of the moderators, and it was literally like, would you like a protagonist to be fully voiced? And no shit. I'm wait, just view results. There you go. Does this show on screen? This does not show on screen. See if I can make it show on screen. That would be nice. Yeah, here it goes. 46% of people wanted a voice protagonist, and then you can see like 8% people didn't care either way. And then like over here, which is like 8% of people said like they like it, but only if they can turn it off, if the voice is not suited, right? So like for a majority of these people, like more people would be like, yeah, voice protagonist than not, which like proves to my theory that the people who are like call themselves like hardcore RPG fans don't particularly exist as much as like casual RPG fans who just like want a cinematic game with a voice protagonist, you know. That's why, like, here's the thing. I guarantee, I can fucking tell you, if Larian does a voice protagonist for the next game, it'll sell bajillions. They'll have to make up a new currency just to account for how much it sells. Now let me catch up to chat. I like the games they published the like the Evil Within games. Yeah, right. Like but that's more on I think a different. I think that's a different studio though, because like Bethesda has a weird amalgamations. Bethesda like there's Bethesda Publishing and there's Bethesda like Softworks, which is the Skyrim people. I feel like Baldur's Gate 3 Act 2 and Act 3 feel a lot hollow compared to Act 1. I mean, yeah, Alma. That's a proud Larian tradition that you might have picked up when you were playing the Larian games, which is Act 1 is where the best content lives, and everything else is basically garbage. Like Divinity Ego Draconis, right, has no real ending, right? They have to make an expansion to add an ending. You know, you think Mass Effect 3's ending was bad. You don't even know how bad it could be, okay? Because man, it could be bad. Literally, you just fail and die at the end. Yeah, man. I jump into the stream on. Hi, Joanna Butcher. This is the content you guys subscribed for. Thank you. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Like and subscribe. Shadow would reveal her whole backstory before I reached the Druid's Grove lol. Yeah, man, that's another weird thing that I disliked about Baldur's Gate 3, which is so like you can game it. Like not even no, I don't even. You can accidentally like get so much information about companions by just like doing things. You know, it's like, oh cool, literally everything. But with Veilguard companions, I feel like I'm like watching sap like fall out of a tree. Like man, this is taking a while. You know, but like I think that makes it a lot better because it makes it a lot more natural. You know, while I do disagree that we should have had more direct conversations. I do think being able to have this much more slower revealing things when it feels right is like better than what Baldur's Gate 3 did. Because what it ends up happening is Act 1 ends and I'm like, okay, so I know everything about all these characters now, and that's it. Like I literally don't need to do anything else because I know everything about them. Like these characters will not say anything new until their quests have been done, and then they'll just like be dead. It's like it's an exaggerated version of how Bio companions normally are, which is eventually reach the point where they just basically have nothing to say and nothing to do. Yeah, closing channel. This was weird pacing. I think that's basically no role playing in Skyrim. Yeah, I mean it doesn't really have any role playing in dialogue, which is interesting. Like here's the thing, right? I wouldn't like completely disagree with you if some people said like Skyrim's not an RPG, because like what choices do you get to make in Skyrim's RPG? Like you don't even get to choose like I guess you could kill Paarthurnax or like not side with the blades, but like even then that doesn't really like feel much of a choice, you know? Because I don't know. Same with like the Civil War. Yeah, sure, but like I don't know. There's nothing where you have to make a choice in dialogue the same way that Bio games does. I mean there are elements, but yeah, Skyrim is like a very basic immersive sim. Yeah, no, I agree. That's interesting. I love that more people are liking voice protagonists. I mean, because in general, more. I think. Okay, here's the thing. If you got rid of the internet bias and you basically like secretly polled these people, didn't tell anyone else about it, right? A lot of people will say, yes, I like voice protagonists. I want voice protagonists in my video games. A lot more people, I think, want voice protagonist. Like, a literal indication of this is literally all Bioware games. Like, I'm sorry, Dragon Age Inquisition sold more than Origins, okay? And I think one of those reasons must have been, as well, because the protagonist is voiced. You know, a lot of people go back to Origins, and if you ask them, like, hey, what do you think about the voices protagonist? A lot of people are like, I mean, I get it, but and you would ask then follow up, would you have liked it being voiced? And a lot of people are like, yeah. They will only hem and haw because they know other people like it. It's not a personal thing that they want voices protagonists. It's more that they don't want other people being upset. You know. They want a voice protagonist, but they complain when it's voiced. Yeah, but they're not the same people, Joanna. Um, they're not the same people. Make an RPG where the protagonist voice. Now that's some fucking freaky shit, you know. You could play it straight, and it's just like you're the only character who can speak, but it's not like a weird thing. Or you can have it like be part of the narrative. Now that's freaky. Yeah, closing channel. Like silent protagonist should be reserved for games that need it. You know. I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3 as a Cersei Lannister-like character, and you realize how much content you miss if you just act self-insertingly. Yeah. But that's why I don't necessarily think Baldur's Gate 3 is like really a Bioware game, because you don't necessarily like Bioware games aren't like that. They don't offer you that much freedom in how you can act out, right? In both dialogue and out of dialogue. You know, it's still a good game. I just wish people acknowledge that it was a Larian game rather than a Bioware game. The only influence it has is cinematics, you know, which is like, okay, sure. Even the evil content, yeah. Actually, that reminds me that I dropped Pentiment because there was no voices. Yeah, man. Yeah, no, I agree with you, Zeroton. It is something I have to overcome as well. I remember when I was playing Pillars of Eternity, I eventually had to like stop at some point because I was just not engaged with it, you know. I was just like, okay, this is interesting and stuff, but like, fuck, man. Please give me some voice acting at least. God damn. Hello, Homer. Hope you're doing well. Yeah, Fallout 4's biggest problem, Zeralton, was definitely the fact that the game just didn't really utilize its voice protagonist well. Like they wanted the voice protagonist without like the game behind that, the support behind that, you know? Like Fallout 4 wasn't bad because it had a voice protagonist. It was bad because it didn't use it right. The choice of Skyrim are not so much through dialogue. They are more through actions. That is a lot of Elder Scrolls games. A lot of it is choices through actions, not dialogue, which is fair. You know, Laren won't let me incest. Or now that's pretty good, Joanna. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. But no, yeah. Hashtag make RPGs great again. That's true. I love protagonist RPGs mostly because it's more immersive to me. I mean, yeah, I agree as well. Oftentimes I do this thing where I eventually just say, why isn't X franchise an RPG? Why is an X franchise a Bioware game? I do this with like Halo, with like Gears of War, all that kind of stuff, you know. Yeah, voice protagonists. Yeah, no, I get you, Homer, I get you. I prefer protagonists have baseline personality, like Shepard and Geralt. Yeah, because it allows for a lot more interesting like drama to happen within the narrative. Because if you don't have that, then a lot of the narrative just has to sort of contingent on the fact that it has to appeal to like a broad assumption that players can have, which is like the world's gonna end and you're part of the world, aren't you? And stuff like that, which is fair, which is fine, it can work. It just means that those stories, it means that they can't be anything else but that, right? The stories that they can tell are very limited. Honestly, the older I grew, the less sense silent protagonists made. People, a few words, sure, but full-on silent protagonists just make no sense because Gordon Freeman. Oh yeah, man. Like in RPGs you can make an argument for it, like The Courier. But for games like Gordon Freeman or like random Call of Duty guy, it's like, I'm sorry, man. Why do you do that? Now you can say like, oh, to make the player feel more immersed. Sure, but that's only for other people, not me, right? I'm not here playing me, okay? If I'm here playing me, then make it an RPG, okay? Don't make this like some weird thing, you know? I mean, yeah, Homer, but Link is a mute person. That's canonically what he is. He's just mute. You know, he can't speak. But with like Gordon Freeman, it's implied that Gordon Freeman does speak. Like it's canonical that he does talk. He's not just like a silent dude. He's not mute. I feel like a side effect of the voice protagonist is also that dialogue is snappier. Baldur's Gate 3's Origins have so many parts where dialogue is just people monologuing. That is true, Johanna. That is true. That is an advantage of it. Though I do think you can have that as well. You just have to write it. You know, I don't think that's an. I think it's easier for voiceless protagonists to do, but I don't think it's impossible for voiced protagonists to do. When you choose personality. If the hero of Radan ever return to Origins remake or in the future, I mean, yeah, they will have to, right? That's just like the sort of BioWare standard. And if they ever do that, okay, get ready, buckos. You're gonna have some like insufferable fucking Origins fans, okay? We're going to microanalyze every single fucking choice, and no, okay, not Origins fans, just like fake Origins fans, okay? Some Origins fans will be mad, okay, but like, yeah. And they'll be like, the way I imagine my Hero Ferelden saying it, it was much better. It was much cooler. But this isn't cool and good. You know? Yeah, it will be controversial. I agree. It feels like a side effect rather than by design. Yeah. Hey, Knight. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're doing well, Jeremiah. Nice having you here. Joanna, it is more of a side effect rather than like by design. You know, which again I do think you can overcome that. Which I do think Dragon Age and Mass Effect has done that to a degree. Not always, but to a degree. I think a good way to make Hero Ferelden voice that doesn't anger people is make it text to speech. Yeah, but like I'd hate that. You know, that would anger me. Okay, that would sound like a fucking insult. Bioware's like, we've got a voice protagonist, and it's just some like Steve, like the Steve AI packaging. Like, hello, I am the hero of Ferelden. Like, oh, okay, no. Sorry, Bioware. No. Yeah, Bioware's very interested in making the hero Ferelden return and giving him a voice. Yeah. Yeah. Which is one of the, which like I remember Mark Darrow saying like if they do that, it is really cool the character creator Jeremiah. If they do make a remake for Dragon Age Origins, they will have to like just accept and do that, you know. But yeah, because like here's the thing, right? A lot of people online think that like voiceless protagonists are like liked more or are better, but they're not. You know, they're not inherently better, and they're not liked more. Like you can see this time and time again. I'm sorry, man. Witcher 3, Dragon Age Inquisition, like all outsold Origins, you know. Cyberpunk 2077, all outsold Origins, and it sold more than Baldur's Gate 3 from my memory. Hogwarts Legacy sold more than Baldur's Gate 3, and I think one of those reasons is because of a voice protagonist, you know. You know, because a cinematic RPG is a lot much more engaging when you have your protagonist voiced. Maybe the hero Ferelden is also able to speak, but they keep interrupting. Like people get the like it's not that people don't misunderstand the hero Ferelden, right? The hero Ferelden, they just what's the word? They understand what they're gonna say beforehand, but they're just very rude and don't want them to finish. Okay, that'd be very funny. Okay, you have the hero Ferelden constantly trying to talk, and then like, okay, I get you, but like you're dumb. You know, it's just like, and then they say something else like, yeah, you want to kill me, but no, you know, kind of thing. That'd be very funny. They would have to rebuild Origins from the ground up, so they would have to find a way to do tactics, menu again, and probably remake it in Unreal, Unity, although I mean probably Unreal. The one thing I wanted my question answered in the AMA that they made for Veilguard, but they didn't do that, which sucks. Which does suck. But yeah, because I wanted to ask like, hey, are you gonna reuse Unreal Engine? Makes sense to why they didn't. Maybe they didn't see it. But like, I think it makes sense for them using Unreal Engine. Varric, the hero was a man of very few little words because he kept getting interrupted. You know. That's true. Okay, that's true. Yeah. Um, Dragon Age Origins with Velgar combat? Yes, please. No, Kami Fighter, you'll be condemned to Origins combat forever. I don't like to me personally, right? I would like Origins combat to be back. Because I'm the kind of guy I'm the guy who wants Mass Effect's Mass Effect 1's terrible ass combat back because I like consistency. You know? But if they make Vel'God's combat, that's not really an issue. Vel'God's combat is pretty good. Pretty good. Kind of feels like the hero for Elden and Hawk is, if alive, want to meet Rook personally, but are busy with what's happening for Elden rematches. Yeah, you know. Yeah. Though I do think canonically, at least to my mind, I think Rook is much more powerful than the other characters. For one, they've literally been palling around doing whole god magic kind of stuff, and also literally fighting gods. So you know, I think that helps. An idea to make the hero for Elden silent is to make them have a companion like Iron Bull, to say that they don't talk. Yeah, Alma, but that's kind of fucking dumb, you know. Literally just to say oh yeah, they don't talk much, which is fucking false, you know. Which is false. They do talk a lot. They talk quite a bit, you know. The whole game's about talking, you know. I just think there's no way to skirt around it, okay? You either have to make the hero for Elden silent, or you're gonna have to make them voice, you know. There's no easy best third position, okay? This is not the Nature of the Beast quest line where you can choose the werewolves or you can choose the elves. No, or secret option, you just make peace with both of them. You know, there's no third option, okay? I like voice protagonists, but I will admit to how Geralt's voice in Witcher is very silly, but that's just me. Really? I'm sorry, what? I know, you know, fair is fair, but really? Witcher 3 Geralt. Can I have memorable quotes?
Take your tongue if you don't shut up. Easy on the insults.
Easy on the insults. I could add to your misfortune. Really? What didn't you like about it? I'm the guy. I am the guy. I am the... Rook has the power of friendship. That is true, you know. And not only that, they have Lich Emric, you know, which is also a good... Oh yeah, my buddy's Lich. Oh shit. I'm sorry, you can say whatever you want about Hero for Elden, okay? I don't think they can, stand up to, a bunch of Liches, okay? I'm sorry. Even... Yeah. Dog may be better, though. Yeah. I like Hawk better, but as a fight, nah. Make the protagonist the only voice character. Yeah, I mean, yeah, V, that's a great idea, you know, brilliant idea, you know? He sounded like Bigby from... Oh, yeah. Well, I like him. I like Bigby. So to me, it's not really much of an issue. It's the same thing as the Bale Butt. Oh, very unnaturally. Oh, I can get you. Yeah. No, you can definitely tell that, the voice actor was told, okay, so gargle some gravel, okay?
I could add to your misfortune. Try me, peasant.
Try me, peasant. I could use the practice.
Use the practice.
Probably master the basics, though. Hands up. Kill them. Yeah, no, I get you. Gave us the most anime girl voice to voice. You know what? So many unironically, okay, you know for a fucking fact that these people who hate Dragon Age and Bio in general will just fall to their fucking knees if they hear Isuna, because they'll just oh man, actually this is the greatest game ever. Rook has the power of autism. What do you Zoltan? Did you spoil again? Spoilers, they all die. I want to hear for yeah. That would be yeah. Rook has the power of dumb luck. I mean, that is true, you know. Take a shot of whiskey before every line. You also sound like David. How does Snake sound like again? Colonel. So I'm gonna do the meme because that's the only way I can get into his voice. Colonel, the ass of my Colonel, I can't sneak past the guards because the ass. Fuck, I can't remember the line, but you get what I mean, right? Which voice? I chose the second female option, but I made it a deeper voice. That's what I chose. I like deep voices. Imagine if we all done like 5 options per gender, but they're all American accent. Hey, come on, Morgan, you me sweetheart. And I'm walking here, and you can't do that, Plymouth. Morgan's my girl. Something like that. That'd be very funny, you know. What's a round here? These parts, we are Grey Wardens. We fight Darkspawn, and we kill Darkspawn. Simple as. You know, that'd be very funny. Was the Grey Wardens in the NFLs the first one to mention the hero for Elden? Yeah, I would have liked that as well. You know, it would have been nice to just because like I would have pointed at the screen and said like that's me. I was that guy. I was him. You know, like man, okay, I was her technically. But I was them. Yeah. Oh my gosh, the hero's dead ashes. Damn. That would be like, I'm sorry, close down channel. You do not understand the fucking apocalypse that would cause, okay? There would be like people coming out of the woodworks just like murdering Bioware, okay? They'd literally have to like, they'd literally form a terrorist group just against them, you know? Rook doesn't die because in the final battle against the Legion of Kaiser Geralt saves the Veilguard from John Fortnite. Zoltan, I have no idea how you keep coming up with these, okay? I always laugh at them. I always find them so funny. It's... Killing Darkspawn is not easy work. Killing Darkspawn is not easy work, but it's honest work. That's what being a Grey Warden is. Putting yourself before others. Wait, putting others before yourself. Fuck. Damn it. It's all falling apart, okay? Sorry, guys. I'm a hack. Gosh darn it. Sorry. I know this just has like no context whatsoever, okay? But for some reason I have the like fucking need to just say like me when I lie. Me when I lie? Me when I spread false information. Sorry. And Infrared says it took us a Dragon Age to get. Whoo! It took us a Dragon Age to get here. Oh fuck, man. Oh gosh, that's so funny. That's so funny. Being a warden is a thankless job, but it's a reward nonetheless. Pretty much my canon romance is in Dragon Age, Leon, Meryl, Cassandra, and Bellara. I mean, those are some good fucking options. It's John Epler who came up with these, not me. So wait, is John Epler using you as like a vessel just to talk to me, okay? Hi John Epler, I like your games. They're pretty cool. Can I play Mass Effect early? Please? I like it as well, Jeremiah. So remember how the hero Freldon in their cameo said, and this and this was my origin. Oh boy, that is oh man. Oh man, that is way too good, okay. Oh boy. That's good. Man, I like that. I like that a lot. Ah. Uh, Wait. Bauer gotta hire us. Yo, they gotta hire us collectively, okay, as a gestalt, alright? We have, like, such amazing ideas, okay? Thank you, Mr. Knight. It's nice not to be blamed for everything wrong with the game for once. No, I mean, you're pretty good, man. Like, genuinely. Like, what a fucking awesome game, you know? Especially what you did, you know? Wonder what Davrin and Bellara thinks of the hero of Rodden, especially the Dalish, since I think, personally, I think that Davrin would most likely not really care. Because like in his like solace like memories section, he's just kind of like, yeah, man, I'm not really much of a Dalish elf, you know. I mean, like, I'm a elf and I still care about them, but like, I'm a warden, you know. While Bellara will probably think like, man, that's cool, you know. I think both of them would agree that it's good that having elf representation, you know, the wokers that they are. Gosh darn it. Yeah, you do remind me though, Zelton. Like, oh, gosh darn it. I remember, it's like how many people, like, and I maybe I just have a bit more thicker skin than some other people have. But like, I just don't get how so many people are like this, like not only like bad faith, but like criminally bad faith, you know, to John Epler. Like so much of the stuff that he does is just like, oh yeah, I'm doing my best. I say something like one of the things he says was like, well, man, they were based on the conversation we had over development. If a writer contradicts what I said, they are right. Things change over a development cycle. It's like, oh yeah, contradictions that exist. John must be lying intentionally, you know? Like, no, man. Like, he's just, like, talking about what he knows, okay? He doesn't know all things all the time, okay? Like, it's not inherently contradictory. It just means he doesn't know everything, you know? It's, like, so weird to me, right? And another thing is, like, this guy did it while he was having the flu, and that's, like, understandable, right? It's important. It seems Blue Sky is taken over. I mean, definitely is. I definitely like Blue Sky a lot more. You know? I like the UI so much better. You know, I especially love how, oh gosh darn it, when you quote tweet something, like, you can see the quotes right here, and you can just, like, go to the quotes itself, or you can just quote right here, instead of, like, here, then view post, right? It's a lot more cleaner. A lot better. Butcha. Gamers are so mature. Yeah, man. I mean, well, online gamers for sure. You know, like, and that's the thing that really does suck with so much of like discussion surrounding Bioware is that you'll never get like an actual discussion, bar a few people. You know, some people will actually have like legitimate conversations that'll make a lot of sense. You know, and they will actually engage a lot better, but a lot of people would just be like real dumbasses, you know. Don't know anything, don't talk about anything, like stuff like that. You know, or they've just like been fed lies, or they're just lying themselves, you know. Anyway, there was a scene with Hawk in Veilguard when Varric calls him to help, and then Hawk says, now I'm in the Veilguard too. Ah, Varric. Ah, Varric. I'm glad that they got together again, though. You know? It's really good. It's... I'll just say like my head. I was gonna say something a lot more explicit, but the basic gist is like a Hawk and Varric kiss each other. Poor John. To be honest, if you knew the ending, you'd know how much more dumb. Yeah, not only that, but some of these people will like legitimately say the ending's bad, right? I haven't gotten to do it, but I know they're wrong, right? Because like I can't believe them, you know? Because their first principles is literally just like I want to be deliberately dishonest, you know? Like so many people, like at the beginning, Veilguard's like release, we're just like, so Veilguard's like the worst game ever, and like they talk about things that like it's so not dark, and then you like, oh, Weishaupt, the first warden to dying in the way he does, Gillenane, mayhaps the blood ritual in Nev's companion quest, and they'd be like, okay, but it's not that much. Like they immediately shift from positions, right? Like they didn't even think about what they're saying, right? Like I could make their arguments so much better. I'll never forgive. I never would have forgiven EA if Bioware didn't convince them to switch away from. Yeah, man. Like that's one thing that's like so astonishing that so many people needed praise. Like you needed like flood John Epler's DMs and saying like, "You saint, you God among men's, you God among men." Like I can't believe that you somehow managed to get Veilguard to become a single player game. Okay, literally, you must have done a Herculean effort. Okay, I praise you, man. Like, come on. The only thing missing in the end is an epilogue. Damn. Now, that does suck though. I'll have to find out myself to see. That does suck though. I didn't know that as well, so I wish the other Inquisition romance represented more in Veilguard. I mean, yeah, right. I do understand why Solus was going to be a lot more because he's literally the main antagonist, right? If the main antagonist was like Iron Bull, I would obviously expect Iron Bull Mances to get more content than everyone else, right? But like, it makes sense why it is that way. But I would have liked to see more. Yeah, the picking of Inquisition romances in a smoke and mirror for Digi Romance Solus, but yeah, I get you, Joanna, but like what else was it gonna be, right? Like Solus's solo villains were always gonna get more than every other romance out there because he's literally the main antagonist of the game, you know? Like what else are you supposed to do, you know? I'd be fucking disappointed if they didn't get more, you know? Because they're literally the main protagonist. I mean, no, main antagonist of the game. Yeah. I mean, Dorian's romance got a little more represented. I mean, yeah, but that's because Dorian's literally Interventor. You know, I wish they did have more. I do wish. Yeah, yo, Iron Bull for Dragon Age 5 antagonist. I see what you're going at, John. Okay, I see what you're going at, and I agree. We should have that. Iron Bull. Sorry for spoilers. Iron Bull is like riding off from the devouring storm, and he's just like, ah, damn, dude, Iron Bull is here as the antagonist. He's revived somehow if you killed him, you know. That sort of makes sense too with the Iron Bull Lord, Qunari Lord. He says, yeah. Which I'm not mad about. I was just like, okay, that answers the question of why the Qunari are in Power Volon, you know, because like Sten, I think, also alludes to the fact that they're not from Power Volon, right? That they just like settled there, you know. And as we get more information, it's very clear that the Qunari are from somewhere else, you know. Then obviously the question is, why did they leave that other place? Are they an expansionist empire or something like that? And then it also like makes the Devouring Storm a lot more threatening, because if the Qunari, who literally made Status, caused Status to go to a standstill, are running away from this other thing, it's like, man, that's a lot worse, you know. We have an idea why the Qunari left. Yeah, like we have an idea now, Ryan. Like the idea was always there. We just now have the idea. And I think it is an interesting answer that it's like oh, they fled. They fled and they didn't like, they're not an expansionist empire, right? That whatever was happening is a lot more like corruptive, which I think is really cool. And it does make the world feel a lot bigger because there are other like godly forces just around the corner. They're just like on their own thing. I think would be really cool. We where's my patch to romance the fuck, man. BioWare. Where? I just need to make sure I know who you're talking about, V, because otherwise I'm gonna look like a. Oh yeah, okay, yeah. BioWare. Why would you let this hunk of a specimen? Why would you let this hunk of a specimen just not be romanceable? I'm sorry, man. Xeon the Antiquator. Look at him. He's at its prime. He has multiple hands for multiple things, you know? And can you imagine what it'll be like to wash him? No, you can't, because it'll just be too good. They both can be revived in the most contrived way. Iron Bull becomes like a full-on cyborg. Okay, Dragon Age is no longer like like a fantasy with some flavor of Renaissance. Okay, it's now full-blown like steampunk setting. Okay, you have like Sten and Iron Bull just like walking around like giant robots. Yeah, man. Now that's good. Now that's genius, 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 genius. Every time I played Inquisition, the Origins romance that it represents more Liliana. Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's always the case with like carrying over characters. Is like unless you're gonna carry over every single character, there are some characters who are gonna have more romance than not. You know. Yeah. Everyone's romance is just not. Yeah, yeah. Hot indeed, Elma. Indeed. Vilgard planted a lot of seed for Canaries and Dwarves in the next game. Oh, I especially love how Harding, like, because for Harding's companion quest, I chose for her to like be herself, you know, to remain like hopeful and like happy, then like be angry with all the Titans like emotions and stuff. And the scene at the end where you have Stalgard and his sister, and it's just like such a beautiful moment of like this is who we are. We are no longer the Titans because the Titans are dead, all right? But we are their legacy and will move forward. And I find that so sweet and so compelling. I'm just like, oh, that is so good, man. That's so good, so good, so good, so good, so good. So actually catches. Is that what are we doing now? No idea, Approva. Also, hey, I love how Xeon shifts to his books. Yeah, man. Xeon the Antiquator. It's just like those people in Kirkwall couldn't keep my antiquities safe. I had to get a new urchin. Like stuff like that. The only thing that we're missing is Thaddeus. Okay, where is Thaddeus the Golem? Bioware. Where's Thaddeus? He's his best pal. Thaddeus. No, I can't spell. No, I still can't spell. There's Thaddeus. My boy Thaddeus. Ignore the fact that it's called Stone Golem, okay? There's Thaddeus. Circle going through another crisis again is something we should have saw coming. Yeah, Aveline just like, the Viscount of Kirkwall is just like, they told me that this was gonna happen. Donick told me this was gonna happen, you know? I wanna see Shell again. Same as well, you know? Too fat for the ship. We didn't see him in Inquisition. Oh, for Thaddeus, yeah, he is a bit too fat, you know. Yo, that's why he's like Xeon's just like, take Thaddeus or my antiquities. Thaddeus, kill. You know, he just runs off. Vilgard needs a new game plus. I mean that. Oh man, dude, I wish, I hope so. Like a new game plus where you don't have to collect the chests again, because man, dude, that fucking sucks. Like, honestly, man. Wasn't Varric a Kirkwall Viscount? Yeah, but he's like off doing his own thing, right? He's like in bed taking naps. Right? Like that's what he's doing in that's what he's doing in Veilguard, you know. So like in the Codex entries it says that Varric is like the Viscount of Kirkwall is Aveline. But she's like a temporary Viscount. Which I find very funny, you know. You had Hawk, you had Varric, now you have Aveline, okay? Which other like Dragon Age 2 like character is gonna be that, you know? Is somehow the fucking Aeroshok from Dragon Age 2 gonna be, you know, somehow the Viscount, you know? What if standalone expansion happened in Velgar and one separate? I mean, I wouldn't disagree with that. I wouldn't mind that. I mean, I do think that BioWare should probably make an expansion just to like, because I would like to see the sort of experience and knowledge that they have then applied to an expansion and see how that is, right? Because you can definitely tell with each expansion or like DLC that BioWare's done, they've made the game a lot better, right? Dragon Age Awakening has issues, but it's a lot more, it's a mini Origins, you know, in a lot of ways, and that's great. Same with like Jaws of Hakon, right? It's a lot more, it's a better Inquisition, you know, from open world to story to everything. Oh, Aveline's Viscount, I feel sorry for her. Yeah, I feel sorry for her as well, you know. Or and it's just for fun, yeah. Sebastian finally takes over Kirkwall, yeah. We have finally taken over Kirkwall. The bitch Anders will pay for this. That's, oh my god. What would Bioware do in the Game Awards 2024? I'm not sure. The most I can expect is another another vague teaser, okay? Like it is like just basically another vague teaser in the veins that we've gotten before, you know? We can even make a bingo card of it, you know, where it's literally like where it's one of the cards is Leora's voice, we Leora's voice, still image, actual gameplay, stuff like that, you know. Because like this is what we got for N7 Day on 2023. You know, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Walking, yes. Okay, that's an N7 thing. Wow, that's an N7, yes. What does this tell me? The protagonist thinks there's a ship there. Could that mean something? Probably not. Probably. Who knows? So I expect that, but I don't necessarily expect anything. It's a bit too early for them to like do stuff for Mass Effect. Hosberg is a mini awakening, to be honest. Yeah, in many ways it is. Yeah, like the defense of Hosberg. Like I can agree with that. I can agree with that. But yeah, I don't necessarily expect too much from the Game Awards from Bioware. At most, I expect another vague teaser, but I don't really expect anything at all. Mass Effect is not going to come out until like at most 2028, at least like 2026. You know, it is not time for them to do that. Like Tosh or Lords of Fortune says it's okay since Darkhaven deserves it. Kept explaining to him that the Andraste crotch is just not appropriate, okay? And then he just kept saying like, the light of the Maker always shines upon us the most, in the most unlikely of places. They're like the British Isles of DA. I find that so funny, you know, that they're like the snobbish bunch, you know. I love that. This is a bit off topic. Whoa, this stream being off topic, not allowed, but allow for this one time. But one thing I hate from the detractors of Veilguard is some try to spin it Bioware not appealing to fans. The whole game's design is appealing to fans. I mean, yeah, right. Like, I do not get how some people can say like Dragon Age, like Veilguard is not a Dragon Age game. I mean, sorry, man, it is a Dragon Age game. So much of the moments in that game will not make sense if you don't have the context of other Dragon Age games. From like Mavis to Dorian to like the reveals of like Weishaupt or like literally the entire lore reveals of like Griffins. The Elven Gods, none of that would work if the game was a new IP. It has to, it will only work. It only works if you play the prior games, you know? Like, I think that some newer fans, who've played, like Veilguard as their first Bioware game, first Dragon Age game, will be a lot more lost than anything else. Mass Effect 5 on Dragon Age Origins engine with CRPG mechanics and the companions, I'm still waiting. That's true. Mike Gamble comes up on stage and saying like, We've heard you, Mass Effect fans. You want to return. A return to what made Bioware great. And then he shows. No. And then he shows this. This is what you wanted, okay? This art style with this gameplay. Congratulations, this is a return to form for Bioware. Mass Effect fans fucking dying, okay? No, we didn't mean that. Andromeda's gameplay was good, actually. You could have kept it. And then like very confused Origins fans like, I guess we won in the end. Bipedal protagonist, let's go. Whether they did it good or not, that should be the question. That is true. Yeah, close in general, like, but like Zerton just making a joke. I still find people stupid like recon. Oh yeah, man, dude, I don't get that at all, man. Like so many people are like, did you see that Solace Memory? The city was black, but in lore it says it was golden. It's like, okay. I love it. I love it when I play a series that has constant unreliable narrators as a key feature of its setting, and then surprise when that is a feature that is actually demonstrated. Damn. Anders meeting Lucanus is like, wait, you're not a mage. How can you be? How are you an abomination? Yeah, I do like. Okay, so one thing I think some people may be a bit off put by is things like Lucanus saying like, how can I be how can I be a man and possessed at the same time, because that's not really like allowed, you know. Obviously we know different, right? We know different. But I like the fact that they still keep that as a constant thing. That like some people just don't have knowledge over everything, right? Like some characters just don't know what happened beforehand. You know, they don't know that like they're not the first example of something. They're just like one of many. Like Dragon Age 2 Legacy literally debunked. I mean, yeah, prove it, yeah. Yeah, I don't think they do a closed-end channel. I don't think they ever look at the codex entries, and if they do, they misunderstand them or don't really read them. You know, they read them in the same way you study for a test. You just remember some facts, but you don't really understand the comprehension behind it. I doubt they even see the cutscenes. Yeah. No, I agree. Sometimes I doubt even that. Yeah. Hmm. Sorry, one thing I want to show, because since this is literally just the rambling stream of ramblings. Because on Blue Sky, right, I asked David Gator some questions. Which I was a bit confusing, but like my basic question was, did people who read the tooltip for Dragon Age Origins basically say like the genders were like basically equal or like generally equal? Did they misunderstand it, or was that a mistake? And then David Gator basically said like, nah, we were just saying like generally. It was not to say like this is basically like a meritocratic society. It was just like generally things are equal. It's okay to be like a female fighter, as he says here. But then I got so confused at this one, because like this is me like me responding to a day old post, like 2 day old post, you know. And then for some reason like so many people like liked his thing, which I don't think is bad. I'm just like, that's weird. I don't know. I find that weird though. I don't know. Anyways, that aside. Right. That aside. It reminds me how fans were pissed when it turns out Reapers were actually created by Leviathans. Really? Did they do that? That's very weird. Like, the Reapers were obviously made by someone. It being revealed there was Leviathans is fine. I think a lot of people saying, like, oh, I'm married to the idea of mystery. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't care. I don't actually want Bioware to allow multi-classing somehow, not Arcane Warriors, but Warrior, though, I do miss it especially. Yeah. No, I agree with you. Especially because they could have allowed it in Dav. Because, you know, Arcane Warriors are like old ancient elven warriors, you know? Makes sense. Leviathan DLC. I got you. Good job. A fun stream, one might say. Though I do think I'm gonna stop for now. Unless you guys want me to do something else. I think I'm like pretty good. Like it was a bit of a short stream compared to like most of the things we normally do. I think that's fine. Oh, never mind. Off topic, but I want an antagonist to do something similar to the antagonist from Mass Effect 2. That was pretty interesting. I mean, no, I do get it. Where like they're not directly attacking the protagonist, right? They're more like taking out colonies or like other like not ancillary, like other adjacent related things to the protagonist, right? They're not going after them directly. It's just like the protagonist is trying to stop them from that. I do think it would be interesting to see again. You know. Stay safe. No, thank you, V. I want you to finish Dav. Oh, thank you so much, Zelton. Yeah, I think I'll try to finish Dav tonight if I have time. Because like I do want to see how it ends. I am looking forward to it. You know. I feel like Mass Effect 2's main story is sidelined in favor. That is true, Hummer. Like, that is, like, objectively true. Like, we can even check that out. 2 main quest. No, I don't. No, just give me whatever. Guide. Yeah, so like we have prologue, like Slave Joker, like okay, Awakening, great, and then Freedom's Progress, and then Sub Collectors, okay, which is like master mission for the rest of the game. Like okay, cool. We have like a couple of that, and then it's just like Stop the Collectors. And it's literally just like, okay, so this is where you assemble your team. And then go to Horizon, which is like we have collect the three main ones, which is like Garrus, all the like companions at the start. Then it's go to Horizon, Collectorship, Reaper IFF, and then it's go to Omega for Relay. It's like 4 missions, right? While with like Mass Effect, right? Now, while it will be like similar in length, it is a lot more involved, you know. Expose Saren, which is a much more longer, more involved quest line than normally, where you can talk to multiple people at once, or you can just like go straight to the end goal, and then it's find, you know, Liara, which is a very involved process, then Pharos, then, you know, from Pharos spawns a lot of other quests and a lot of other main missions and a lot of other ways to sort of resolve it. Same with Noveria, and then Vermi. It's like there's so much more involvement with its plot, where Mass Effect 2 is just like 4 missions, you know? So far, from the teaser, it looks like Mass Effect 5 will be a spy thriller type thing, which is pretty cool. I mean, yeah, right? I don't think what other direction they can take, you know? Because like if they take the direction of like, oh yeah, we're gonna do a we're gonna do like Mass Effect again, the Reapers are the antagonist again, I don't think that would work as well. Especially because that would contradict a lot what happened beforehand, you know. Just telling because I have a feeling these people just don't know or forget about stuff. Like, yeah, I wondered too, Approver. I think after a point of no return, there's like 6 hours of gameplay. Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna try Nightmare difficulty for the first time. I mean, I'm not sure if I'm gonna try that for like for Veilguard, but I might like dabble in it just to see how it is, you know. Yeah. But anyways, this has been a stream. I think we can all collectively learn that Bioware games are actually good, perhaps. Oh wait, never mind. I like Dark Phoenix 2019. I don't know if it's the best X-Men film. That's not bad as I thought it. Thanks for keeping the stream going, Closed End channel. No, I mean I haven't watched anything X-Men related beyond the like first original ones. Dark Phoenix, I don't really know too much about it. I hope Mass Effect 5 continues the best Mass Effect series. Now that's an opinion I have. Okay, I actually like Paragon Lost. Okay, like funny enough, I really like Paragon Lost. I like the I like the art style. I like the story. I like how it sets up Vega as a sort of like proto Shepard. You know, I like so much about it. You know, like look at this. I don't know, man. I like it. You know, is this necessarily the best Mass Effect media ever? No, but I don't know. I find it charming. You know, I like it. I think it's cool. Yep, though I can somewhat agree with the dialogue. It could play out better. I mean, yeah, I do think there are some ways that like Veilguard's dialogue. Oh, Comedy Fighter, did you not know? So, there's a lot of like not lost, but like, I guess lost media for Bioware, where there's just like stuff that you don't you just kind of forget exists, you know. One of them is Paragon Lost. It's a story about James Vega, this guy, and him being on a colony, and him just like during Mass Effect 2, during the Collector attack, where he tries to resolve it, you know. He makes a decision where he has to like save people or take the Collector's data and use it for the Alliance, right? It's that kind of story. He meets an Asari, a Krogan, a bunch of other kind of guys. It's a wild series, and I like it. Another like Lost Media I think is very interesting. Age, Redemption, yes, Dragon Age. There was a live action Dragon Age like web series called Dragon Age Redemption, starring Felicia Day, who also played Talis as well. Somewhat of a self-insert. And it's weird. I don't think in a bad way, but it's definitely like one of those, oh, this was the early internet where you could definitely tell so much of it was they were trying to figure out how to integrate content creators into like their marketing, and this was one of the results, you know. But yeah, no, thanks for the stream, Zoltan. Thank you for joining as well. You know, I haven't seen Paragon Lost, to be honest. I can't. I want to see that and the Cassandra anime. Yeah, I mean, I think Paragon Lost is better than Cassandra anime. Just to tell you, you know. Hey, I know it. Yeah. Back to the topic of the Hero World, and Corin is interested in making the Hero World. Yeah, which I think is interesting. You know, obviously, like as the directors change, the priorities change. You know, even David Guetta at one point wanted them to come back as well. But they were kind of like shut down because it's like we couldn't be as voice and stuff like that. It's like, oh yeah, James Vega arc, yeah. Talis is a fun character. I mean, yeah, I do think she's a fun character, though I do think that I don't think there's much you can do with her because she is literally just like Felicia Day. Okay. Chat will no longer stop me from ending the stream, okay? Unless one of you literally top in the next 5 seconds. But yeah, it's been a fun stream though. I've enjoyed this a lot. A short stream. But I enjoyed, you know. Thanks guys for like off topic, but I mean if you're saying that, like we might as well stay here for another million years, okay, you know? I mean off topic. Thank you for thank you as well, Zoltan. Okay, thank you so much, you know. It's been fun though. Yeah. If it up to me, important. That'd be interesting to prove, huh? Kind of feels like I know, but like there's no real way to do Hero for Elden without making people upset. Like Bioware just have to rip the band-aid off, right? You either have to make another game with just the Hero for Elden, or you just have to like give them a voice and just accept it and move on, you know? Some people will be mad, let them be mad. No, yeah, see you as well, Proof. See you, close down channel. Thanks for the stream, guys. Yeah. I will try, hopefully, do more, do those Solus memories. Because, man, I want to do that. Now, see you too, Combi Fighter. Thank you, Homer, as well. Because, man, I want to get to that, and I need to, like, actually start doing that. Because I want to talk about it, you know. There's a lot of, like, interesting stuff about it, and it's just such a Dragon Age moment, you know. The big lore reveals that shake and change the narrative and context surrounding it, you know. Okay. Done. See ya. And if any of you who are watching the VOD, perhaps you consider liking, maybe even subscribing, that'd be appreciated a lot. Thank you all. L6. Cool. Where's the end stream button? There it is. Oh, no, yeah, approve it, yeah. Anyways. Have fun all. Enjoy.